Good morning, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a wonderful week. Thanks to Sandile for holding the webinar last week in my absence. So it does show you that the Elliott Wave principle is a structured strategy. We've got the same rules and guidelines. That is why you will not see a difference when another trader like Sandile is hosting the webinar and I'm hosting the webinar, because we've got exactly the same rules and guidelines, and that is how a strategy is supposed to be. You should not have to think about the strategy. It must tell you what to do. If it's time to pull the trigger, if it's time to execute the trade, your strategy should tell you should tell you that you don't need to make that decision. We don't want to make emotional decisions when we trade, so that's why it has to be technical and it must follow the rules and the guideline. Right, so this week we still have some great setups even leading up to the festive season. We're going to be looking at that, and we're going to look at some of the setups that we've been taking in the last week or two that have been playing out very nicely, and they're still in play leading up to the festive season. Before we get started with trade setups, if you'd like to contact us, you can check out the contact details under the description of all the videos on my channel. Just go to the description and check out there. We've had our Black Friday special. A lot of people took advantage of that. Just make note that we're going to run that special leading up to the end of the year. At the end of, on the 31st, that special ends. So it is currently still in play. If you still want to take advantage of that, you can still do that. So we will also give you December free, because the last webinar that we're going to have on in this year will be just the last week before Christmas. So you'll get December for free, whichever subscription you take for December. All right. So if that was a concern to take a subscription in December, that is not a problem. You are going to get December for free, and then we'll only get the next month charged. Right, so let's look at that. These are the contact details. That's my email address, my WhatsApp number that you can use for both Telegram as well. And then trading view link, you can look at it there. The website, elliottwaveprinciple.com, that is where you make the booking for the course. The next course is only going to be on the 8th of February next year. But if you'd like to start watching the course and learning the course, you can purchase it on the website and get a fully recorded course, right? So that you'll find on the website. You have to buy it on the website directly. And then if you'd like to check all our setups before and after, we post them up on Twitter as well as our Facebook pages. Those are the pages that you can check them out there. So here it says the 30th of November course. We have just completed that course last week, Friday. It was an amazing course. A lot of people learned a lot. Very valuable course. We'll be sharing some feedback from the members maybe in the next week. Right, so let's get started. There's also timestamps there that we load a couple of hours after the webinar has been uploaded. So look out for these. They're not uploaded immediately with the video. So do not panic if you don't see them immediately. They will be uploaded eventually. I understand that not everybody wants to see all these instruments. Some only have specific instruments to look at. So we will post that up. Some of the trade setups for the last 2 weeks, as I've said, we've got pound US dollar. We've been trying to sell pound US dollar for a while now. Okay, let's start here with a pound US dollar. Pound US dollar, we have been looking at this to sell it right at the top here, but it kept pushing up higher. So if you look at pound US dollar, let me just get my annotation tool ready here. So if you look at pound US dollar, we've made a bit of a move here, but it went and made another move to the upside. But eventually we are coming down here like this. So we've broken up a little bit higher here, and then we've come down here. So we're still looking for this trade. It has now eventually played out. You will see as we come with the setups for the latest week, this one did not quite play out from this blue box that we were looking at. It pushed up a little bit higher, went up, made an entry here, gave us an entry, as you will see when we go down with the webinar. So this is a pound US dollar. This is the chart before, and this is how this one was playing out. Kept pushing up higher. So that move, we did get that move from here, but it went back up again. If you've seen your structures, you'll see that it actually went back up again, and that trade did not fully play out from right at that point. This is Euro US dollar on the 1 hour. Also did not quite play out from right at the beginning. So that one also made a move to the downside a little bit, and then we went back up here. So you'll see some great setups as we go on along here. Let's see from the 6th year when we updated this. Let's go to the 6th. Where are we now? This is the before. Let's go to the 6th. This is pound US dollar. We've just looked at this one, euro US dollar. And let's start here with pound US dollar. So I want to show you the setups from the beginning of December up to date. So let's look at pound AUD. Let's start with pound AUD. So pound AUD, we all know that we have been looking at this corrective structure. We've been looking for it to drop from here and get a move to the downside. And this is how pound AUD is playing out. Okay, so we've already had this drop. We're actually much further than this now on pound US dollar. We've already reached this target. You'll see with the next updated trade as we go down. So that was pound AUD. This is now CADCHF. CADCHF was interesting because this is not the only place where we bought CADCHF. We bought CADCHF here. We got CADCHF for this upside move here. Now this one has made this move. We did not trade this. We only traded this move. That's our trade. So you'll see, if we watch the previous videos, you will see this trade setup here, how that one played out. So this one here was another setup for downside. Made a move to the downside here. You'll see another one that is showing us that from around here, we're going to make a push to the upside. This is from 2 weeks ago. You'll see the one from last week showing that we're going to have a move from there. That is a CADCHF. That is how it is playing out. Now, this is CADCHF again. So that is the setup that I wanted you to see. This is the move here, and we're looking for this one to make another move like that. All right. CADCHF, that is how that one is played out. As you can see, this is now EURCAD. We're expecting EURCAD to make a push to the upside and then a drop. This was a perfect setup because that was giving a nice corrective structure. So it makes a move to the upside and then we get a move to the downside as forecasted. And this is how this one plays out. Amazing. So this is now playing out upside and then we come down here like that. Now we're looking for a corrective structure and then downside. That is a EURCAD. Next one. This is pound CAD, same thing. So pound CAD, we have forecasted this move from when it was inside here. So there are two views that we've looked at on this page, and I'll show you when we start with the market analysis. But that views, all of those views have got the same bias. The one was that this was going to be a flat here. Let's show this flat. So this one is going to have a flat, 3 waves, and then a 3 waves here. So that was simply going to be a WXY up to this level. So even if it was a WXY, XZ, that was still going to play out exactly the same way. So we got the trade either way with those alternatives. Remember, you can always have more than one alternative, but you must have one that must be confirmed. That is why we've got a special indicator that helps us confirm those trade setups. This has now eventually come down here. This was last week. You'll see the latest update as we go on. Now, this one is interesting, and we've got a trade setup on EUROCHF for this week. We forecasted that this was going to make a push to the upside and it's going to come down here. So this week, we've got a setup for downside here, which we're going to look at when we start with the market analysis. Look out for this one for this week. So still some great setups for December, even going to the festive season. This is EUROCHF. That is how it is now eventually played out. It has come down here. We're now looking for this setup. You will see this corrective structure when we start. That is EUROCHF. Euro US dollar. So Euro US dollar, if you've been watching the videos for a while, you will see that we had to change our view. We have always been looking for upside, but that upside, we wanted that upside to come after this has made this move to the downside. We did not get this move to the downside, but eventually has made this move to the upside. So that meant that this was all the correction. We're not expecting this to be all the correction. We're still expecting this one to go slightly bit more and then upside. So we only got this one around this level. So that happens. So that is the timing of the market. So this is Euro US dollar. We're looking for this one to now continue to push to the upside. As you can see there, from there, then we got the move to the upside. So sometimes you do get those setups that you will not get like that. Euro US dollar CHF, just like US dollar, Euro US dollar, this one has been on a downtrend for some time now. So we've been looking for this one to continue downside. As you can see, that has now continued to the down, a couple of 100 pips to the downside. That is the US dollar CHF, US dollar CAD, exactly the same. It is a US dollar pair. So that is just showing you the weakness in the dollar. So that is how it has played out. It moved to the downside as follows. that is a US dollar CAD. All forecasted. Members see this before the move. So this was already on the 6th of December before these moves, right? So this is how that has played out. Chief Yen. Chief Yen, we are currently here. It has moved from here. We've come around this level. So you'll see with market analysis, we've actually broken around this level. Now we are actually around here. So we are looking for this move. This move did not come here, but we're still expecting it from here. So we have got that move to the upside. I will show you just now. Let's play that. So you can see that this has now made a move to the upside here. We are now looking for a reversal. It has pushed up a bit here. We're now looking for a reversal at current levels like that. That is Chief Yen. Pound US dollar, I've shown you in earlier on how we were trying to get this move to the downside. We first got this one here that did not play out and it pushed up higher. So this was a perfect entry here with this corrective structure. That is when pound US dollar has now made this move to the downside. Is it going to go all the way, or is it only going to give us the 3 waves and then push up higher? Very likely we only get the 3 waves and then we continue pushing to the upside. So let's see how this is going to play out. This is where we are currently. It is already playing out. The 3 waves we've already got. Now the question is, do we continue to the downside, or are we going to get a reversal? The indicator is going to give us direction here. That is our forecast for now. We're taking it one move at a time. That is pound US dollar. Audi US dollar. Also, we also had to change our view here for upside on Audi US dollar. It's just the same as Euro US dollar. We were looking for this to give us a nice corrective structure that was going to come back down to the lower boundary of this correction here. We did not quite get to the downside yet, so that's why we only got this set up here for upside. So Audi US dollar, now continuation to the upside. We had to change our view there. That's playing out now. Pound yen, perfect. We have now got this move to the downside. The question is, do we make a move to the upside? Let's just show that move. That is pound yen. So pound yen, we've come down here now. This is where we are. Now the question is, are we going to continue to the upside, which is what we're going to look at when we start with the market analysis in a bit. This is now EURAUD. EURAUD has played out this perfect structure here, 3 waves in the 4 hour, and looking for this one to drop. That is how it has played out. Let's see. As you can see, exactly as forecasted, the 3 waves here, this one is a bit compressed, the 3 waves here, and then we drop, as you can see, with a bit more detail with this drop. So we're still expecting continuation to the downside on EURAUD. Perfect setup. EURCHF, I've already shown you this one, made a move to the upside and then coming down. We've got a setup for this week on EURCHF. This is how it's playing out. Okay, so this is now the latest week, this current week, and what we focused in the last week. We got a move to the upside, we got a move down here. So the forecast on here is we've got the 3 waves here. So we've got the 3 waves. We're looking for this one to make a continuation pattern to the upside. But now this is making a corrective structure here like this. So we need to see if this is going to make one more down here. So there's going to be a setup for one more down here. As much as we're focusing upside here, we need to get the indicator to confirm this correction. This is the correction that we're speaking about. Let's just go to EURCHF. I know we have not started with the market analysis as yet, but I want you to see the view and the setup that we'll be looking at this week. So let's go to EURCHF. There's a very nice trade setup that we're looking at. So if this is a corrective structure on EURCHF that is making a 1, 2, 3 waves there, we'll be looking for this one to continue to the downside. Maybe one more down before we push to the upside, but we'll take it as it comes. Let's go through the rest of the setups for this recent week now. Right, so that is EURCHF. This is now Euro Pound. So Euro Pound, we expected it to break out of here. This is now how this is playing out. Has already made a move to the upside. Broken out of here. That is how it's played out. This is now Euro New Zealand. Euro New Zealand, we've already looked at this. This was the chart from 20 October. Let's play this out. This is the chart from 20 October. Can you see where this one came from? We've made a move to the downside, we've made a move to the upside, and we've got this move to the downside. That is how the euro has played out here. Now we're looking for this recent move here. Let me show you how this one is playing out. So from October, this one has played out. Let me just go back one. We forecasted a number of moves here. So this is where we started, the downside, the upside, and this downside. We've got all of this downside. Now this is now looking like a corrective structure. and we may still continue to the downside here. So this move may not happen. We may just get this one to go straight, but let's see how this looks during the market analysis. EURAUD, I've already shown you this one, or have I? This is a three-wave structure here. This is where we got EURAUD, and then we're looking for this one to come down, and it has already come down, has already reached that level. As you can see, this is the drop. This was the setup here on EURAUD, and we've got that move to the downside. Now the question is, are we going to make a bounce from current levels and get a three waves here? We're going to be looking at that in a bit. That is EURAUD, an amazing one as well. EURCAD, we have been looking at this one for a while, looking at this structure I've shown you again earlier. I'm just showing you the three waves here. This is a WXY. There's another alternative. The other alternative is, as you can see on the blue, WXY, X, WXY, X, and the Z, or WXY with a complex correction here. Either way, we're looking for a drop. As long as the indicator confirms from here that we're coming down, then that is the move, and that is how that is how pound CAD has played out. We've made a move to the downside, exactly forecasted from right here in this blue box. Right, that is a pound CAD, pound chief. Pound chief has already made this move to the upside. We're coming down here. This one is a beautiful trade setup because it has made these three waves like this, and now we're coming down like that. It's playing out exactly as forecasted. As you can see, we've got that move to the downside as forecasted. Right, this is now gold US dollar. Now gold, we expected this one to push to the upside. As you can see, the current move on gold that we've got did not go all the way to the 1900. Let's play it. Just short a bit here. So we've got this one as three waves here. We've got that one as three waves. Just 1 second. Right, so I just needed to hide the video panel. So we've made this move to the upside. I'm going to detail again what I said about gold. So we're expecting this one to continue to the downside in the next week. I'll show you again what we expect of gold. We've made a detailed analysis on this one 2 weeks back. This is gold. Let's have a look at some more. So this is all the trade setups for the week. Let's go now into the market analysis and look at some of the pairs that we did not look at here during the trade setups. But mostly I will go through each and every one of them and look at what we expect leading up to the festive season. Let's go through it. Right, let's start with the Euro US dollar. Now, Euro US dollar, and I'm going to be referring to the website as well. Let's hide the playlist here. So Euro US dollar, is this going to make a move to the upside? We are currently at this level. Last week, we focused that this current correction is going to be a wave 4. This current correction, we expect it to be a wave 4 and then a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This bit to be a 5-wave move, but let's see the whole structure so you can understand where those 5 waves are coming from. Let's go to the website. So this is what members get on the website. So this is the members area. Let's go to the US dollar pairs. So with this, that means at any given time, if you've got a trade setup running, somebody once asked while they were inquiring about the services, that do we get support all the time? And what if I'm in a trade and I don't know what the direction? Can I contact you? Yes, by all means, you can contact us if you remember. But it is much easier when you've got the website, because at any time of the day, you can always just go into the 4-hour chart and see what our view is. Then you will know if you've gotten into a wrong trade and you're not sure what's going to happen. You will always see our view at any given time. So this is 1, 2, 3. The 4 that you see here, this is actually the green degree. Let's do this here. So what you're seeing here is a corrective structure. This will be the green degree here, 1, 2, 3. The 4 that you see here is a small green degree here that we're expecting, and we're expecting this one to continue and complete that red wave 3. Where are we now on Euro? That is what we have here. So this is the green 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're expecting a move to the upside like this. That move may not be exactly ready right now. Let's show you why. So we've got a move down here. We've got what looks like a complex correction. So the euro can make one more down, then make a move to the upside. That will be the last bit of a wave 5 in the green degree like this. So there will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5. So look out for this one to come down. Don't immediately think that this is reversing. So this will possibly be a wave 4 and a 5 Remember, this is also to complete that wave 3. That means we'll expect to get a deeper correction at that level, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. For the rest of the structure, refer to this chart. You can take a screenshot of this if you like. This is where this is coming from. Okay, so that is the euro. The DXY is obviously the inverse of what we're looking at now. Let's look at the DXY. So the DXY also, that pullback in the green degree. Similarly here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the green degree. So we already have this correction on the DXY, looking for downside there in the next week. So this correction is done, looking for this coming through to next week. Just look at it here. This is the DXY. That is the pullback we're talking about. So we're looking for this one to complete here, downside. So just like with the euro, this may make one more up before coming down. So look out for these 3 waves here. Then we'll get one more down. All right, that is the DXY. Let's look at pound US dollar. I've shown you this one a number of times. So now the question with the pound US dollar is, do we continue to the downside? Or as you've seen with the forecast, let me just switch this off for you. As you've seen with the forecast, this one can make a 3-wave move like this and then make a move to the upside. We already entered this trade. We're already running it risk-free. So whichever direction that this one plays, it doesn't matter. We're looking for this one to continue to the downside. Okay, so let's see how this one goes. What is we'll also look at what the indicator tells us to decide which direction. But we are already in the trade on this one and looking for this one to continue to the downside. That is pound US dollar CHF, just the same as the DXY. This is just a repeat. So you've got a bit of a pullback here. This one is not so decent. This one looks like a running flat so far. We can push a little bit higher like that and continue to the downside. This is also a wave 5 here in the green degree. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're looking for the 5 here. So this is your wave 2 here, coming down here. Simple impulse on US dollar CHF. So it's exactly like this. Let's just show you the structure so you can see. 4, as you can see, that is the pullback, but this one is making a running flat here. Okay, so that is US dollar CHF. We've also looked at US dollar CAD. Let's just have a look at it here. Let's look at it on the site as well. Let's go back and look at US dollar CAD as well. 4 hour. Now, US dollar CAD long term on the monthly, this one is coming down. So we've got this one here, this pullback on US dollar CAD. We're looking for continuation pattern to the downside. The continuation pattern is already in place. So we're expecting US dollar CAD to continue lower. So this was the forecasted correction. It was already happened here on US dollar CAD. So we're going to get this one here and get a deeper pullback. Let's see how that plays out. Audi US dollar, you've already seen the view that we've changed and updated here on the Audi US dollar continuation to the upside. So you've seen this one during trade setups. It's already making a move to the upside as forecasted, as well as New Zealand is same, a pullback, which we already have, and looking for this to continue to the upside. This is Audi, this is New Zealand US dollar. As you can see, that's the pullback. It was very shallow. It was a very shallow pullback here, sideways even like that. So that's already made that move, and we'll be looking for this one to continue to the upside in the next week. That is New Zealand. US dollar ZAR. So US dollar ZAR, I have been looking for a 1474 area. Our members know why we're looking for 1474 before they move to the upside. Is this ready, or can this still go to around 1474 before we make a bounce? So there's a very likelihood that this one is still going to make one more down. Is it coming down with divergence? Let's have a look at the divergence on the RSI. There is some divergence from around this level here. There is divergence. This is making lower lows on the price, and the RSI is making what looks like higher lows. Okay, so let's see how this is going to play out. So this does not mean anything. The RSI is just telling you that at some point you are going to have a reaction. Whether that reaction is corrective or is the overall reversal, that you have to decide with the Elliott wave structure and the sequence. But what we're seeing here is that this one is coming down like this. There is some divergence, and we'll be looking for this one to push higher eventually to the all-time highs. Pound yen, you've already seen this one during trade setups. I'm going to go through this one again. We expected this one to come down. Question is, from here, do we make a move to the upside, or are we going to, is this a continuation pattern? If it is a continuation pattern, it changes the structure. If it comes down, then the structure is still intact, and this will be this will be a three-wave move like this. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, and then we start a move to the downside like that. Okay, so this will be the decider. Let's see if we get a correction here. If we get a correction, it's continuation pattern to the downside. US dollar yen. US dollar yen, we've got a trade setup on this one. Let's show you also a trade setup. I didn't show you this one under trade setups. Those are just before and after charts. So the ones that were executed are these. I didn't show you AUD New Zealand that we've executed as well. Okay, we'll go through the trade setups as well. This is AUD New Zealand. AUD New Zealand, if you go to your charts, you'll see that it has already played out around this level. Not yet a target, but that's not the one I'm looking for. The one I'm looking for is US dollar yen. Let's have a look at US dollar yen. So we can see the view on US dollar yen. Okay, so that's the latest one. Where's US dollar yen? I'm trying to locate US dollar yen. There we go. So US dollar yen, you can see the exact trade setup and the exact entry here. It makes a move like this, makes a double, and then we're looking for this. So that is how it is playing out. Let's go to the chart. You'll see. Let's go back to the chart and see what we're looking at. Okay, so that's where we are. We've already now started breaking here. As expected, that was a setup. Now it has made a nice three-wave pullback here. 1, 2, 3. It is still quite tricky for US dollar to go all the way to the downside. If you get a corrective structure here, your next target should be here. But we are very close to this level, which is a structural level where you can make this a structure like this, 1, 2, 3, like that. And if that is the case, that means this sequence is not complete. You're going to have this one, A, B, C, and then upside before you come to the downside like this, 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to have this one here, 1, 2, 3, like that. So we may still be in a sideways corrective structure for a while here with US dollar yen before we come down. Okay, let's watch how this goes. Euro yen. Euro yen. Let me see if I've got Euro yen here on trade setups. I think we had Euro yen. I showed you Euro yen on the trade setups. Let's get this one off here. Let's go back to the chart here. Euro yen. So the Euro yen, the forecast here was for these to come around this level actually, and then make a move to the downside. We've broken up that level. So now we are here. We're still expecting this one, even if it's going to go up with the ending diagonal to make a move to the downside. The reason for that is that this looks like 1, 2, 3 wave down, 1, 2, 3 waves up. And if that is the case, it's 3 down, 3 up, then we'll be looking for another 3 down like that. So let's watch this current structure. If we start seeing a drop here, then it's going to start playing that move. That is Euro yen. CHF yen as well is the same. So CHF yen has already started 1, 2, 3. Is this going to go down? This does not mean anything, guys, because when the market opens, this can just continue to the upside. So this is not significant. What is significant is when the indicator has confirmed that this reversal is intact, and then you can actually take the trade to the downside, and this will be a move down, a correction, and a move down like that. Okay, then you've got this A, B, C with a complex corrective structure, B corrective structure here like that. Okay, so that is a CHF yen, and that's what we're going to be looking at. CAD yen. CAD yen, we're looking for. Let's look at the website. Let's refer to the site here on the yen pairs. Let's go to the yen pairs. Let's go yen. Right, we're still looking for the yen pairs. Yen. There we go. Pound yen. You've already seen this. You've already seen this one during trade setups. Downside, that is the expectation. We are here. Question is whether this is going to continue to the downside. I don't want to repeat that. We are currently on CHF yen, and I want to show you on CAD yen, and I want to show you the view on CAD yen. So CAD yen, we're currently here. We're looking for this one. Is this going to drop here? So this was on the 7th. We've already started dropping at the forecasted level. but this drop can hardly be called a drop. It's insignificant. This does not mean anything until we get confirmation. So we're going to start looking for this one to come down. You've seen that forecast. So the chief yen is, if I didn't show you the chief yen structure, let me just show it to you again. So that is the chief yen, that is the expectation. We expected it to reverse here, but it has pushed up a little bit higher to this level, but we're still expecting that. That is chief yen. We didn't go through New Zealand yen. Let's look at New Zealand yen as well. So New Zealand yen on the 4-hour, expecting a pullback, but eventually continuation to the upside. That is New Zealand. Right, we've got a pullback on the New Zealand. It is currently still in play. 1, 2, 3. That is the pullback that we're looking at. It's going flat. We may still get that move to the upside. AUD yen, same. We're just expecting to see a pullback. We initially wanted AUD yen to reverse at this level. It has now broken that level. It just touched that level. Is this going to break? Is this going to correct at current levels and break higher? If that happens, that means the structure is as follows. Let's look at the structure that could be playing out here. That means we've got these as a running flat. 1, 2, 3, and this is all the 3 waves that it needed to correct and push up higher. So now we'll be looking for this one to continue to the upside and break even higher like that. Okay, so that is AUD yen. Gold. Now gold, I have detailed the reason why I don't expect it to go all the way down from current levels. Let me detail it again and show you the structure that I'm looking at. The structure that we've been looking at even way before this move to the upside. You've seen the forecast of the move to the upside, but we didn't expect it to go all the way from that level. Let's take this one off here so we can have a full screen and show you the detail on gold. I have explained that the degree on gold does not indicate or does not give us the confidence that this is ready to reverse as yet. The structure we're looking at gold is these 3 waves, 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up. Now, I have said in the last couple of weeks that this move to the downside, as much as it looks like 3 waves to the downside, the degree is too small compared to the rest, so we don't expect it to play it like that. We're expecting this to be only the first wave like this, 1, 2, and this one possibly another wave, and then we can have this one. So now this is actually much more decent for a 3-wave move to the downside. Then we're going to have something like this, a W, a X, and a Y. But this Y may not play out as a zigzag necessarily. It may play out as any corrective structure. So you can get this one as a W, as a move to the downside in 3 waves. This one starts correcting like this and makes a move like that, even a flat or a zigzag like that. Now that is decent. Now from there we can expect gold to start reversing, because now you're going to have this one as A, B, C. You're going to have this one as W, X, Y. You're going to have this one as W, X, Y. That is what we're looking at on gold. So we may still get a push to the upside on gold, depending on how this corrects here at this level. Now, remember, we still have this one as a triangle. We focused on this one as a triangle. We focused on the move to the downside. We focused on the move to the upside. We focused on the move to the downside, because we understood the structure. That it does not get any more detailed than that on gold. So you'll be looking for this one. Even this one, if this one makes a move to the upside, to the top of the boundary there, we expect it to come back down first before it makes a move to the upside. That is gold, and that is clear the structure is on gold. Let's watch the current levels. It looks like we're going to have a short move to the downside on gold, because we've got this setup here to the downside. So even if this does give us this and comes and takes the low here, makes a move to the upside here like that, it is still fine. It is still going to be a 3 waves on the Y, and then we're going to expect that upside. Right, let's go back, get out of full screen. That is gold. Silver, not too different from gold. We've got a setup for downside, short-term downside, after making that 3-wave structure as well. So currently the silver structure looks like a 3-wave move, like a 1, 2, no, that's not how we're looking at it initially. So we're looking at this one to be a running flat like this, for this to push a little bit higher and then downside. Let's see how this is going to play out. If this is going to make one more down and then make a move to the upside, then that will still make this a 3-wave structure, 1, 2, and a 3. Okay, we already have 1, 2, 3. We already have 1, 2, 3 here flat. So the silver, even if we've got a setup for downside, that setup could just be a correction here and make one more up like that. Very clear on silver. Brent crude, just a pullback, still pushing up higher and higher. It's just a pullback. We should expect one more up before we get a deeper correction. Platinum, you've got a setup for downside on platinum as well, just like with gold. So, but that downside looks very corrective. One down, one up like this. There's a flat. Expect this one to do this and then upside. That will be a correction. That will be A. That will be B. That will be C. That is platinum. Let's go to the pound pair. We've already looked at pound chief. You've already seen pound chief. Pound chief, we're expecting continuation to the downside. We're already at a critical area on pound chief. We've seen how we've analyzed this for such a long time. At this point, we expected pound chief to just give us a correction and come down like that. And I have said when they pushed this up higher, I said they don't just drop it in an obvious manner. You saw the drop. It made a move to the upside. Some would have given up when they saw this one pushing up higher and gave up on the structure. But because we understand that the structure needs to play out, we still traded this one to the downside. Here was another entry. Here was another entry. Here was another entry. With all these three-wave pullbacks, now we're still expecting this one to come to the downside. Now, if you try to sell it here, you're very close to this structural level and you may be making this structure. So it's a bit risky to sell it at that point. But if you look at the daily, let's look at the daily as well, just to see how far that may go. So on the daily, this may only come back down like this. So be careful with this because we may still make a move to the upside. That was pound chief, pound CAD. You've already seen pound CAD, how we forecasted this structure. Let's go to the 4 hour. I'm repeating it for the third time now. This structure was in the blue box with this three-wave move. You've seen it on the website. You've seen it on trade setups, how we forecasted this drop from here, and then we've got that. So we're looking for this one to come down, correct, and then come down like that. So we've got that move to the downside. That is pound CAD. Pound Audi, you also saw this one during trade setups. How we got this trade setup here. Makes a move to the downside here and then downside. You saw the trade setup. Now the question is, do we make a bounce from current level? We need to see here. I think we're going to have a corrective structure here and then we're going to continue lower. Pound New Zealand. Pound New Zealand, just expect a pullback. I don't expect a reversal at current levels. There's no indications of a reversal. So that means Pound Audi and Pound New Zealand will continue lower in the next week as well. Euro Pound, you've already seen this one during trade setups. After it made these three waves to the downside, this is one. This is three waves down, flat, and three waves down. Then it makes this move to the upside. So let's see how far this is going to go. So it is not part of this structure. That structure is moving to the upside. So this is a three-wave move. This was a three-wave pullback. So the likelihood is that we've got this one as three waves up, three waves down, and this is going to make another pullback and then another three waves to the upside, giving us a WXY corrective structure. So the bias is to the upside. So if you see a slight move to the upside on the pound pairs, it is this correction on Euro Pound. Euro Audi, very interesting on Euro Audi. So Euro Audi made this corrective structure that we've forecasted 2 weeks ago. Now we've made this drop here on Euro Audi. After making this big correction here, and the correction is this one here, and then downside. So continuation to the downside, risky to sell it at that point. You should have got it here. And if you're taking it now, it's a bit risky because at that point you can just break down lower and then start reversing. EURCAD, you saw the forecast on this one. We focused the move to the upside here and then downside. Okay, so that is now we're looking for continuation to the downside. Similar structure to this last piece here, similar to EURCHF, which you will see now. EURCHF also makes a similar structure, but a correction here, upside and then downside. As you've seen with trade setups, we focused at this. Now we're looking for downside here on EURCHF. Euro New Zealand. Let's have a look at Euro New Zealand. Right, that is EURCAD and EURCHF. You've seen EURCHF, we've got that. Let's look at Euro New Zealand. Euro New Zealand has made this nice running flat here. Textbook running flat. Looks like we're going to continue to the downside. 1, 2, 3 up. Now we're looking for this one to make continuation to the downside like that. That is Euro New Zealand. Let's go to the crosses. Euro Audi New Zealand rather. Audi New Zealand, we've got a trade set up here. You've seen the trade setup, I've shown you. 1, 2, 3 waves here. Then it makes a push to the upside, and that is how this one is playing out. We're looking for the continuation to the upside still. AUDCAD. AUDCAD, 5 waves to the upside. We are currently in wave 5. We're looking for this one. Look at this textbook, 1, 2, 3, expanding flat, and a 5th wave here. Looking for a continuation to the upside. That continuation to the upside is risky. Wait for it to give us a deeper correction here if you need a trade. Why would a deeper correction? Because after 5 waves, you can either get an A, B, C correction or a WXY or WXY correction. Now we'll be looking for this one here to play out there. That is AUDCAD, AUDJPY. Same 5 waves. We're currently in the 5th wave. 1, 2, 3. Looking for this to continue to the upside and give us a deeper correction. New Zealand CAD. Very nice setup on New Zealand CAD. This just needs to play out. If we get this one dropping below the flag here, this is one correction, and then we're going to be looking for this one to continue to the downside like this. All right, that is what we have there on New Zealand CAD. We're going to expect a deeper correction here like this. New Zealand CHF. Now, New Zealand CHF is very interesting. Similar structure to EURCAD. I'm going to show you why. So you've got 3 waves down here. You've got 3 waves up here. We could be making a bigger flat correction here. So we've got to move to the upside here. We could be getting a 5-wave structure here or a 3-wave structure. Either one should be okay. This is on the 4-hour on New Zealand CHF. So this can be an A, B, C corrective structure. We just need to get an entry here and confirmation from the indicator that this is indeed coming to the downside. So eventually that will make a flat correction or an expanding one for that matter. Let me just go back to US dollar CAD so I can show you why I say this structure is similar. So if you look at US dollar CAD on the daily, let's go daily on US dollar CAD, you'll see the exact same structure, but a bigger structure in this case. Previously, rather on the weekly, let's look at it on the weekly. It's clear on the weekly. So you can see that structure is similar. Can you see on EURCAD on the weekly why we keep coming down with EURCAD? That's because the next target here is minimum of around 20. So we're still continuing to the downside on EURCAD. Any continuation pattern to the downside, we take it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, just like the setup on New Zealand. Which one was this? Yeah, we're looking at New Zealand CHF. Very similar structure. So we're expecting this one to come down to around 120, and New Zealand CHF on the 4-hour, same thing. Let's go back to the 4-hour. Same thing on the 4-hour, as you can see. So if this starts playing out here, we're going to be looking for this to go all the way. After this, 3 down, 3 up, and then downside. Okay, so those who trade head and shoulders will tell you that this is the left shoulder, this is the left shoulder, right, the head, and the left shoulder. So we don't look at shoulders. We know what the relationship is with what other pattern traders are looking at. We're looking at the structure, and the structure is 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and then we could be getting 5 waves to the downside. So that means we need to get a corrective structure here, and that is what we're going to sell if we get this level, if we're looking for that level. CADCHF, we've seen this one a number of times under trade setups. This one has been amazing. We've got it so accurately in the, we've got 2 or 3 trades on this one here. First one was when we traded it from right here, and it made this move in just a couple of hours, over 200 pips in just a couple of hours. Now, We've made this move to the downside. This correction we forecasted. We got the downside. We currently have a forecast for upside, which we got from here. Now we'll be looking for this one to continue to the upside after this correction structure. So a pull down, a push to the downside, and then upside again on CADCHF. That's all on the Forex instruments. Let's look at the indices. Now the indices have been playing out exactly as forecasted. So let's just have a look at our indices charts. We have not updated the indices chart simply because the structure is still intact and is still valid. Let's look at the indices. Start with the S&P 500. Now looking at the S&P 500, this one was updated. We got these moves to the upside when we got to this level, and we're focusing upside. As you can see, the S&P 500 last week even reached around 370. So we're expecting continuation to the upside still on the S&P 500 and the rest of the indices. Dow Jones. Now Dow Jones looks like we're gonna shoot up from current levels because the indicator is showing us upside here. So this is no longer, this is not an ending diagonal. This is looking like a continuation pattern to the upside. We're gonna see this one shoot possibly like the Nikkei did a couple of weeks ago. That is transportation. The NASDAQ, similarly, we're looking at this current move as a pullback corrective structure. We're looking for upside here. Let me just show you what we're looking at on the NASDAQ as well. So the NASDAQ, as you can see, the structure is to go and complete that blue wave 5. So we'll be looking for this one to give you the pullback and then upside. Right, that is the indices. UK 100. On the UK 100, if you have been watching our videos for a while and you follow the indices, you'll remember that we've focused on the UK 100 from here, expecting it here to come down here. We pinpointed it down here, then we got to move to the upside. It has come up in 5 waves. So these 5 waves, they do qualify to be a zigzag like this according to the rules and the guidelines, but we want it to continue to the upside. So it looks like we're still going to continue to the upside. Then it will be a decent zigzag corrective structure. Let's see how that plays out. If the indicator confirms upside, we're going to keep buying the UK 100. The DAX. Let's look at the 4-hour on the DAX. We're making a corrective structure. You see the date for this post 7 December. So continuation to pattern to the upside here. We're expecting the DAX to keep pushing up higher. So 2 weeks ago, we did see that corrective structure. It didn't quite go as far. So this is where we were 2 weeks back, looking for this one to push higher from the DXY. But it didn't quite push. It just went sideways. This is sideways structure. Then we'll be looking for this one to continue to the upside. That is the DAX. Nikkei has been on an uptrend since we forecasted this move to explode from here and go for that wave 5. Let me show you the Nikkei structure. So this is not in hindsight. So Nikkei, we focused it when we were here. We've made this move to the side, and we're still expecting a continuation pattern to the upside on the Nikkei. Right, and lastly, Ripple, or rather Nifty, the Nifty. So the Nifty, continuation pattern to the upside. Nothing has changed here. It's just an impulsive move. The indices have been on an uptrend. Continuation patterns can still be bought into the festive season. That's all I had for you this week, guys. Trade responsibly, and you must enjoy the festive seasons responsibly. Next week is going to be our last weekly webinar of the year, and we will resume again in the second week of January. And like I said, if you're subscribing to the service, you will get this month free, and we'll start billing in the next month. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you for the last one on Sunday. Cheers. Bye-bye.